As you already know, it was confirmed this past week that Rachel Brosnahan will be playing Lois Lane in the upcoming Superman Legacy film. And with that being said, let's talk about what makes Lois Lane such an awesome character. This is year's best of week 26. Birds of Prey 101 and 102 from Gail, Simone, and Nicola Scott. This story, along with the art, entails, in my opinion, Lois Lane as a character, her beauty, presence, smarts, wits, and resourcefulness. Barbara is concerned that an agent called Katrina, aka Spy Smasher, has declared war on Oracle. She's expecting Katrina to send a whole lot of problems her way. Speaking of problems, here's Lois Lane. What's the first thing Lois does? She flexes on Barbara that she can get the owner of a fancy restaurant to open and serve them after hours. Barbara recognizes the power Lois has by this flex, while at the same time thinking what are her options if her cover is blown. Barbara tries to push the pace on this meeting, but she just realized Spy Smasher sent Lois Lane, the Pulitzer Prize winner, to take down Oracle and the Birds of Prey. Barbara is now concerned. She will much rather face the Joker.
The Joker has been known for getting up on occasions, but a killer reporter who smells blood would destroy everything I've built.
Lois explains to Barbara that the reason they're meeting is because she's working on a story unrelated to Barbara. She just needs her help fact-checking a few things.
I remember reading on the papers when Lewis brought down corrupt politicians or evil capitalists with her journalism. Now, I can almost pity them.
Barbara tries blowing the lid on this pressure cooker by stating there's no pigeon on the menu, but Lois brushes off the remark. Lois changes the topic, talks about how amazing the view is, also states that Barbara does know about amazing views because she heard somewhere that Barbara owns the Dalton Towers. Barbara says she doesn't own it, she's just a tenant. Lois clarifies her statement, yes, a tenant that takes the top 5 floors, but she only noted that because she lives in a small apartment, and Barbara mentions her marriage with Clark Kent, and when ordering her food, she puts it out there that she likes to know when people are fishing. Lois says with a firm face, her and her husband's work is separate. Lois goes through her purse looking for her notebook and slightly pulls out a picture of the OG Birds of Prey, Barbs, Elena, and Dina. Barbara assesses the moment. Maybe Lois doesn't have any proof of anything. The tension is cut briefly when dinner is served. Barbara is not safe yet. She is curious what is Lois' big story about. Lois dispels Barbara's suspicions by saying it's just some conspiracy legend of a master hacker. Barbara almost choked on her food. Lois wanted to share printouts, but she's just not efficient with computers, she says. On that note, she asked Barbara for a recommendation since she's a whole whiz with computers. Before Barbara could deny anything, Lois shares that she did some checking and discovered that Barbara had purchased a Carver Mark IV, a mainframe with holographic display capabilities. Barbara is shook. She thought she had covered her trail, but why would Barbara need something like that? She asks in order to deflect. Lois admits that's a great question, since there were 4 purchases of this kind done by the military, Caltech, MIT, and one by Barbara, of course. Lois is being very casual when revealing this information. Now Barbara knows Lois was not bluffing. She is forced to act and act drastically. She wants to play truth or dare with Lois. But of course, Lois has been playing this all along, trying to force Barbara to pick truth, but Barbs has decided to pick dare. She has something to share with Lois, a picture no one has seen ever. Barbara herself caught it by accident. She even dares to say that Lois wouldn't want this picture spread all over the world by the morning. Lois acknowledges the bold move by Barbara, so she makes her move. While she looks for a napkin inside her purse, she tells Barbs that multiple times a week she has to make a decision on whether she pursues or drops a story. She has to weigh the outcomes of publishing her work. Sometimes she gets honest tips from people that want her to uncover the truth, and sometimes she gets calls from hysterical people who even threaten her so she will pursue a story, just so their enemies get crushed. But Lois states she always does her homework and she chooses sides like everyone else. Bottom line, Lois is no one's pawn, so she's done here. The master hacker story seems to be a myth, she says. She will drop the story after all. Lois bids Barbara farewell and advises her to take care. There's some powerful people that seems to dislike Barbara. On the table was a picture of Clark Kent Superman kissing reporter Lois Lane, the Pulitzer Prize winner, and Lois's napkin had a drawing of Oracle, Barbara Gordon's master hacker alter ego.